So there we go. We are now recording on... Okay, we are now recording on OBS as well, so we have to use this for the recording to upload to YouTube, so you guys can obviously see it in the morning. If you missed it for whatever reason, you can review this back. So again, going back onto the daily, what we're looking at, I know we were talking briefly before this, but this is the market showing its hands on the daily time frame. And again, some people we're trying to predict those moves in the future. When you see such large moves, either to the upside or to the downside, typically on the daily, if it's an upside move, it's a lot easier to follow as opposed to a downside move, because typically markets go up, so it's a lot easier to follow the longs as opposed to the shorts sometimes, especially with those expansion candles. So this was the market showing its hands, and obviously we had 7 days of consolidation, rebalance that halfway back, and obviously we have completions above us. Now, in terms of those smaller time frames, let's just look on the 4-hour time frame. We have a couple extensions here that I paid attention to yesterday, and like I mentioned a second ago, the only trade I took yesterday was a short, and that short made sense on 2 or 3 reasons. The daily bearish pivot, which we rejected at, which was the 79% fade long short completion of that 62. It was also Friday's highs, and it was also a completion from the overnight session on that short, on that long. So there was 3 things there, and then also we completed an RTH halfway back, which is just a traditional extension, and then I took the low to low of that short, which you guys saw in the Discord. So that's where we were yesterday, and then going into today, where am I? Same sort of opinion as yesterday, really. I don't really have a bias, and that's okay, right? There's going to be weeks where we absolutely are trading, you know, multiple times a day and for multiple hours throughout the day. And there's going to be days, it typically, what's the word? It for whatever reason coincides with the UK having some sun right now, which is a coincidence, which is what I was trying to say. Doesn't always happen like that, but hey, there's more sun, there's less screens. I don't mind that, right? So that just happens to be this week, but doesn't mean it happens like that all the time, but I'm okay with that, right? So again, just to reiterate, the 79% fade long, we then have that move to the upside. We then trade from that anchor to the high at 61.8. That completion is above us at 20,000, pretty much thereabouts 20,000, right? That hasn't yet traded. However, we have traded the negative 23 of the 79% fade long and the negative 62 or the negative 61.8 from that 79% fade long. So the market has rallied from that fade long all the way up 16%. They're about 16%, okay? If you look from highs, lows to highs. So it's a huge move in, you know, pretty much a month, right? From April into the start of May, right? So we've had a really good month for April, and now it's about trying to be smart and trying to be having the mentality of trying to preserve capital going into the next month. Again, I reiterate, 25k this month, 25k last month, 22.5 after fees is 2 great months. So let's try and end the month good, i.e. let's not try and do silly trades and go into May with a strong mindset of building that, basically that account back up, right? Okay, let's look on the half-an-hour time frame. Again, where are we, right? We're stuck at that daily pivot. That is that negative 20, negative 62 completion from the start of the month, 79% fade long. That is signified here at 536s. Bullish above, bearish below. Bearish when is in context in terms of having extensions that have followed through, like yesterday, which I'll break down in a second. And then also this was obviously Friday's highs. So Friday's highs are here. We pierced them yesterday and failed to go higher. Again, that will be a bullish above, bearish below level, but we have to get above to go higher, and we have to reject lower to be able to go lower. Okay, so it's all in context. Where we were yesterday, the trades that I took yesterday, if we look at the RTH session, and we go to yesterday, we zoom out, this is where we were yesterday, and this is what I was looking at, and we did this live on Discord, on Zoom with you guys that are watching now, and obviously anyone that was watching this on YouTube. This was all done in the room live. I waited for the market again to show its hands, right? I waited for the market to show its hands, and what did it do? It traded just like we teach in the masterclass, right? This is nothing fancy. These are just levels, right? It's a halfway back, meaning market retraced halfway back into a bearish zone. That completes its targets, and what do? I wait for that completion, and I just simply draw the next level that is relevant to draw. And for me, it's that low to low, which again, we teach in the masterclass, right? And on stream every day, right? You see this every day. pierces the 61. I was short at the 38, ran up about 20 points on me, and then we get that completion. That completion, the negative 23, 1, 2, 3, final 4, and it rallies right back up to the open. So there's two moves there, right? There's the short completion, negative 62 from the RTH halfway back, which is in blue here. Finally completes the low to low 23, and then rallies, right? Short initiation sets up the long, or sorry, short completion sets up the long initiation. And that's exactly what you saw. So yesterday, shorts complete, longs back up into the open. So pretty much a nothing kind of day. And we close at pretty much the daily bearish pivot, which is what I drew pretty much straight away in the morning. Okay. So that was yesterday. Going into today, what do I have? Going into today, put the RTH on. Where are we? Where are we? Well, we aren't anywhere near my supports, and the supports that I'm drawing are pretty much all ETH draws, because if you look on just an RTH only chart on the half an hour time frame, there isn't really any extensions in here that have actually set up correctly, should I say. You could argue this draw here, and we trade a same anchor new high, and again, we're at completions, right? We're at that negative 23. Now, you would draw same anchor new high. We've not had these retracements back down to 19,100, which is, as you can see, where my alerts are. This is where I'm more of a, this is where I'd prefer to put in longs into the market, right? This is where I'd prefer. It doesn't mean we get down here, but if we do, I would be actively looking for longs at that level. Again, the market doesn't care if that's what I want and that's where I want it to go. We can go higher from where we are. It's just about trying to be sensible with the entries that present themselves, right? Because we can't just go long because we're at highs, right? That makes no sense whatsoever. I also can't draw a high to high here because, as you will know from the masterclass, this is broken. So again, on an RTH point of view, there is nothing to do here until you get those retracements lower, which is going to be 18,900, right? And if you can't wait for those levels to hit and you just want to try and get into a short because you think it's going to go down there, you're probably going to end up getting chopped around, right? Even though we're at daily bearish pivot, you can still be bullish once you get above and start holding. So there's nothing, it's not something that I would trade to the downside. What I say with these moves, if we get down there, brilliant, I will trade it if we set up longs. But just because I'm wanting it to go down there, I won't trade that to the short side. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So that's that. On the RTH, can I see anything, right? Can I see anything on the, sorry, ETH? Can I see anything? So yesterday, what I was looking at yesterday, you can see the trades that there were some trades I took on the overnight session. Trying to even see where they are now. They've basically been negated from RTH of yesterday. I took some longs in this area yesterday into that daily bullish, I keep saying daily bullish, daily bearish pivot, and we pretty much negated that move. We came down to the 79%, broke trend for me. It's not, even if you get back up, it still breaks trend in my opinion. So that's not a trade I would take. We're at that halfway back from yesterday, basically Friday's RTH lows to the high of yesterday. You're at that midpoint. Again, it's no man's land. There's nothing for me here. Hate to say it, it's a boring one this morning, but these are the lessons that keep you in the game because they keep you out of trouble. You do not have to trade every day. I will continue to say this. This is a 2 to 3 day week type of job. And if you narrow it down in terms of hours, much less than that. You only have to get 1 or 2 good trades for the week to make your month. It only takes 1 or 2 bad trades to ruin your week, ruin your month. So this is an educational session today to kind of tell you, tap you on the shoulder, I'm looking over your screen when you're trading. And if I'm looking over your screen when you're trading, just have that mindset, would Callum do this? If not, if I'm not doing it, it's probably a reason, right? You see what I trade, I'm pretty transparent with what I trade, you see it live. So if I'm not doing something and you're wanting to do it, just maybe ask yourself, is it the right thing to be doing, right? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But that's all I really had today. There's nothing sexy. There really isn't. You know, you're in shorts. You've traded 1, 2 reversal bar downs. You've had pukes on the overnight. There just isn't anything here. You have to wait for something clearer to set up. And again, it's the coming into the end of the month. I seriously do not mind if I take a handful of trades this week. We've traded a sloppy RTH short that went to its negative 100. We've traded a same anchor new low that's hit its halfway back. It's completed its negative 23. Same anchor new low. You're back into that 62 weekly open. What are you going to do? What are you going to do here? YOLO, a long on one account and a short on another account? That's just, it's just degenerative behavior, and it's just not needed, right? So do nothing, sit on hands until something clear sets up. I would be much more bullish if we can hold that daily bearish pivot, and it's just a pivot. It's not bearish or bullish to some degree. It's just a level that I want to see longs above and shorts below, just like the open price, right? Context dependent. But that is all I have, right? I'm not going to trade the short side because I think the daily is still bullish. For me to trade the longs, I want to see supports hold. And right now, it's going to be that 19,560 area. Now, as I mentioned, your best risk to reward longs are going to come down at that 19,000. So to be going long at the highs, not great, right? It's not great. So you have to lower your expectations this week until we get a puke either down or up, and then you can follow that move. So again, apologies if it's not super useful this morning, but personally, I find these lessons or morning recaps much more useful now I'm more experienced, because I know how beneficial these are to keep you out of trouble. Because if you come to the market with the same mindset from the previous day or the same expectations from the previous day, you're likely to be disappointed. Okay, you're likely to be disappointed. So I will leave you with that. If there's any questions, put them in the Discord. But other than that, I don't really have anything. So yeah, it's going to be one where, guys, just sit on hands until something clean. So the setup wants to be so clean, you just are stupid if you don't take it. Tom Dainty, like, literally print that on your head. He just waits for the setups that just look so easy that you have to take it. And right now, that's not there. So don't trade it. Okay? Peace out. Hopefully that's helpful. I will be on my desk. Like I said, if there's any questions, let me know. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there before I continue to ramble on.